Hi everyone, today I came to review a typical Russian apartment. This building that you can see on my back, it's a very long and shaped building. A lot of people live here. It's almost 400 flats. I came to visit my grandma, she lives here. She has lived here basically her whole life. So in Russia we usually call these buildings Khrushchevka or 9-story buildings, because obviously they have 9 stories. And the reason they have this amount of stories is because in USSR times they had like special norm, and if you had more than 10 floors you had to build like one more elevator and a special fire ladder. And that's why the most economically reasonable way to build buildings would be to make it 9 floors. Also, I would like you to pay the attention to these buildings. This one right here, it's actually a ventilation. And there, yeah. Basically all these buildings are made for storing vegetables. In Russia we call it овощехранилище, and people from all over this home, they come here to put their vegetables for the winter, to come and eat them. So now we are going to enter the building. Two things that are very typical for a Russian apartment. The first one is called garbage chute. I'm not sure if you know what's that. I don't really want to touch it, but for you I'll do it. So you open it, and here you usually put the garbage. Well, it is made on every floor, so every person could dump garbage there. Right here we can see a letter. It is probably made by someone who lives in the flat nearby. Here you can read "Stop shitting in the garbage chute," which is kind of funny. And usually tramps love to live here. And the second thing I wanted to show you is these post boxes. They're always messy and there is always so much spam there, like right here. Some New Year thing. Wait a minute. Now we are entering the elevator, and the funniest thing about it is that it actually has only 8 buttons right here, but the building has 9 floors. In a second I'll show you how everything goes. We came out of the elevator. I want to show you this big box. Here usually people also put different things such as potatoes or different vegetables, and sometimes they just keep their possessions here. And now we'll go up. As always, the ladders and all this hall, it smells like cigarettes here and also like pee. Also, yeah, it's funny, but it's true. It's almost like a tradition in Russia to pee in such buildings. I don't know why. Maybe it describes our people, but that's the way things are. So now we are going up. That flat, show it please. It's my grandmother's flat. We are going there. But before we enter it, I'll also show you that this floor also has this garbage chute. Here it's a little bit cleaner. No tramps lying here. No homeless people, but we see some cigarettes. Probably somebody was smoking. And there is the entrance to the roof, but it has a lock, so unfortunately we can't go there. Let's go to my grandma's house.
О, Господи! Как вы добрались? Привет, раздевайтесь.
So here's the hall. The flat actually has three rooms, and in terms of USSR, it is considered to be luxury. So now I'll show you the rooms. Let's start from the first one. It is basically the dining room. It's the biggest room in the flat. It has this table. Actually, it has a lot of different Soviet Union stuff. So the first interesting thing I want to show you is this. There is an old watch, a turntable, and a portable phone that I remember from my early childhood. And on the top there are speakers from the firm called Radio Technics, and only God knows when they were played last time. I just came here to wash the hands. The bathroom is actually separated, so it has 2 parts. That's the first part. Here you just wash hands and take the bath. It's very small. I want to show you one really interesting thing. The bathroom faucet right here is the same for taking a bath and for washing your hands. So if you want to wash your hands, you just put it here, turn on the water. Next to the bathroom there is a small toilet and it has 3 green shelves. They are full of tools which my granddad used to mend different things around the house. He's a very handy man and he also worked as an engineer, and in my childhood he loved to tell me different stories about how things are made. Typically Russians use their balconies to keep useless stuff, and this one is not an exception. And also my grandma enjoys to put plants on the window sills, and she uses them later when the countryside season comes, she plants them and we have some fruit and vegetables. My grandma made my brother measure his blood pressure, which is the favorite thing to do if you are a Russian grandma. And here on the left there is a cupboard with a tea set and different plates, which is very widespread thing in Russia. People keep these tea sets but never use them. Entering the kitchen we see the same things as almost all Russian family have. Here is a fridge with the magnets on it, also some potatoes lying on the floor, and there is a kitchen cabinet. It's actually quite modern. I think my grandparents bought a new one, and this one is the most interesting thing. It is a radio, and my granddad enjoys listening to news, and this radio is like 40 years old, and it's usually turned on and it plays all the time. You can see the kitchen compared to myself. It's really small, but I think it's pretty comfortable. You may notice this orange peel, some salt, bread, microwave, and pumpkin seeds, and frankly speaking, I have no idea why my grandma has it. My granddad is also a big reader, so there is a bookshelf on the left with a lot of engineering literature. He is also fond of mathematics. And here is the room with the TV and different photos. This photo actually represents 4 generations. Here is my mom. Again, a cupboard with the tea set and plates. Also an old Soviet Union carpet. And that's my grandparents. I think they're really beautiful. Let's see what's inside. Well, I think it's only documents, nothing really special. As I told you earlier, my granddad and maybe my grandma too are very fond of listening to some news, and that was the example of the propaganda. So it's really live all over the time. Speaking about Ukraine, here is the doll that really scares me for some reason. I think this bedroom is pretty comfortable and cozy. Here are the pictures of my grandparents. This shelf above the door is literally the most USSR thing you can see in this flat. By the way, USSR is United Soviet Union, which is a former name of Russia. It consisted of Russia itself and also Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and many other countries. And here is linoleum. It's a special kind of flooring. It really looks awful, but it is very widespread in the former USSR countries. My grandparents used this string to dry their clothes. It's all over the flat. And here is a wardrobe. Its door is made of chipboard with a special painting that is supposed to look like wood. I don't know why they did this, but it is also very popular. And that's the inside of it. Also there is a calendar on it. Alright, so пока-пока. Давай. Living the grandma's house. We left the house. It was a great visit, very funny. We talked a lot, and I think this scene represents Russia best because you see a lot of freaking snow. Today is a very snowy day, snow everywhere, it has been snowing the whole day. And the last thing I wanted to show you is the entrance to vegetable storage that I told you about. It is actually located underground, but those buildings that I showed you in the beginning are just vent buildings and also buildings where you do all the maintenance. So yeah, I think it was interesting. I hope I told you some new things, the things that you haven't heard before. I think Russian apartments have their own style. They're pretty authentic. They have some things that are not really spread all over the world, and it's getting so freaking cold. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. See you.